Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Alessandro. Thank you for joining me. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing with you maybe possibly the future of dentistry, or at least the future of dental education, which will in turn probably propel the future of dentistry. Now, we've discussed a little bit about going back to school and basically tips and tricks for students. But what I'm going to focus on this time is the actual direction of dentistry as a whole and the education of the students. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the very top, that is the deans of dental schools. Because let's just say that there are deans of all stripes, but it'd be really great to have a certain, maybe standardization. Now, I know every university will have its own process of selecting a dean for a dental school. And every university has its own right to select the dean that they feel is most appropriate and necessary for their school. However, I think that there should be some base prerequisites for deans of dental schools. Some things that universities should really consider standard. So first things first, I think that if somebody is going to be considered for the position of a dental school dean, that person, him or her, whomever it is, should be a licensed United States or Canadian CODA accredited dentist. That is, they should have a dental license to practice in the state or in the area, at least, in which they are running the school. Or even perhaps nationwide or North American-wide, wherever CODA operates, because I know that they're also going international now. But there should be some sort of CODA-accredited dental school education that was completed by the person that is being considered for dean. So that's step one. Step two, a dental license is also something that I would consider mandatory for those who are being considered for the position of dean. They should have not only graduated from a CODA accredited dental school, but they should have also practiced dentistry. They should have a license to practice. Part three becomes anybody being considered for the position of dean should have been in private practice for at least, I do say at least, a minimum of 5 years, with 10 years being preferable. Why do I say that? Well, it's all nice for dental school deans to have academic credentials, and I'd like them to. I'd like them to have publications. I'd like them to have some knowledge of how the research world works, because that's fundamental to dental schools as well. However, I think that going forward, really the focus should be on the practice of dentistry. And deans that have never practiced, especially not in CODA accredited places, or the United States, Canada, and others, wherever they may be, they really don't have an understanding of how your day-to-day dentistry works. So if they don't have a functioning ability to know how the practice of dentistry is, how can they guide a school which is supposed to be teaching students to practice dentistry? It makes no sense. It really doesn't. That said, I can say that the University of Maryland has a great dean. I know that he's been in private practice, so I know that he's fundamentally aware of how things go. The faculty respect him, and I think that there's a good relationship there from what I have gathered from different faculty members that I've spoken with at that school. So that's the kind of direction I think that universities should go in when considering people for deans. If you have somebody that really has never practiced and doesn't have a dental degree, how do they really know what goes on in dentistry? Oh, sure, they might have a public health degree or something like that. That may very indirectly apply and may have some applications to dentistry here and there. But that's not really what the bulk of the people that are going to dental school will do. In fact, it's a very tiny minority. So we need to focus on how to get leaders into position who are effective at training dentists for the future. And with that in mind, I think that those candidates that should be considered for deans of dental schools should be those folks who have practiced, know how practice works, know how the fundamentals of basic dentistry work, and can thus better guide students to a successful future. So, I really appreciate you all joining me in this video about hopefully the future of dentistry and who could or should be leading dental schools. Now, I realize that this is my opinion and that, like I said, each university has its own right to determine what constitutes the best fit for running a dental school. But in my opinion, and I would say this probably in the opinion of many others, dental schools really benefit from deans who have actually practiced in dentistry, and maybe even some who have owned dental practices too, because that way they have a much better understanding of how dentistry works on a day-to-day basis and could better do good for students who are in school and guide them to better success in the future. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope you're all staying very well and healthy.